When you become a TYT member, not only do you get exclusive content, you become a part of our family. Click the link in the description box below to join the home of progressives.
So Donald Trump has not been buying the obvious storyline of what's going on with the bombings, that obviously Democrats are being targeted. Someone was going through a list they had put together of Donald Trump's enemies, taken from various speeches and rallies and social media, and was sending bombs to them. Now, as we said, many right-wingers had conspiracy theories that this is probably a left-wing plot to increase turnout in the midterms. There's no easy way to do it. This is the only way. You gotta send bombs, I guess. And so this morning, before we knew who the bomber was, Donald Trump decided to weigh in, saying Republicans are doing so well in early voting and at the polls, and now this, quote, bomb stuff happens and the momentum greatly slows. News, not talking points. Very unfortunate what is going on. Republicans go out and vote. So literally like 30 minutes before they caught the guy, Donald Trump decided to give the thumbs up to the conspiracy theory that these are not bombs, or if they are bombs, it's being overhyped. And he says, very unfortunate what is going on. And note that he does not mean that the former president almost was murdered, that Hillary Clinton was almost murdered, celebrities and billionaires and politicians and all of that. He's saying the fact that the media is talking about this wave of attempted assassinations, that is unfortunate. And remember, CNN, who perhaps more than anyone other than Hillary Clinton he goes after, he also said, funny how lowly rated CNN and others can criticize me at will, even blaming me. And he goes on to say that people are getting ridiculous in comparing this to serious incidents. This isn't serious like that. And remember, he tweeted that after someone tried to blow up CNN. And to add on to that, even once we found out who had actually done this, he is going to address a group in the White House about this. We have pictures of the van. The van says CNN sucks, from the guy who tried to blow up CNN. As he's getting ready to speak, the crowd of people in the White House starts chanting CNN sucks. And then he goes up and does his speech. He's doing a rally a little bit later on tonight. 2 hours before the rally, the crowd was already warming up with CNN sucks chants. So if you have any belief, or if you did, that they were gonna moderate their tone or their rhetoric in response to an attempted attack against a media outlet, they don't think that you should, I guess.
Yeah, and this just goes away from and kind of takes off a little bit what you were saying before, Jayar, is that this was kind of a leadership moment, and I use leadership and what I'm about to say, which is President Trump, in the same sentence kind of loosely as a combination. But the reality is this was a moment where he could have said, this was a bad situation. These targets, the environment, everything that's going on. He could have even dinged CNN in the process of doing that by saying look, everyone has to tone down. Everybody has to calm down. Let's try to run this like a respectable country. I'm the leader. Yes, maybe it has gone too far and it's time to kind of dial things back. Instead, he just minimalized it and then went on to basically attack the news for spending time on it. Mm-hmm. So he's also trying to control the news from this entire sort of perspective of not being a leader to the country, but still trying to be that sort of bully towards the news.
Yeah. So why don't we go through some of the video of him? We've got a couple different things. He's going to the extent that he at all sort of puts out a message that we should not be sending bombs to each other, you will see that in this clip.
I'd like to begin today's remarks by providing an update on the packages and devices that have been mailed to high-profile figures throughout our country and a media organization. I am pleased to inform you that law enforcement has apprehended the suspect and taken him into custody. These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country. No place. I've instructed authorities to spare no resource or expense in finding those responsible and bringing them to swift and certain justice. We must never allow political violence to take root in America. Cannot let it happen. And I'm committed to doing everything in my power as president to stop it. And to stop it now. To stop it now.
Okay, so he says that he's gonna do everything necessary to stop political violence. He's lying, that's not what he means. What he means is he is going to do everything in his power to stop his supporters or anyone on the right side of the spectrum from having to think critically for even a second about the way that they and he have been operating. And so that comes in a couple different forms, which we're gonna go over. The first was that, did you notice that just like in the rallies over the past 2 days, he did not identify a single one of the targets there.
Right.
High-profile individuals, could have been anybody. Maybe it was George W. Bush, I don't know, can't tell, didn't see it in there. A media outlet, it wasn't sent to a media outlet, it was sent to CNN. You know that it was sent to CNN, but you don't want to let people know that it was CNN, and so you have sanitized it for them. And now we're gonna have a little bit more from him, but also Donald Trump just by himself can't stop conservatives from having to reflect on what's going on. They need help from the media as well. And so earlier today, I captured some front pages after we knew all that we needed to know about this individual. So first, let's bring up Fox News, and you'll see it's fiend left fingerprints. Now, basically nothing they say there is inaccurate, but you'll notice that you can look over all of that and have no idea whatsoever what his political views are. It's a wide shot of the van, you can't see what's on it. Doesn't, as far as I can tell, it doesn't in any way indicate that he's a right winger or a Trump supporter, goes to the rallies and all that. Breitbart, similarly, if you move on, did the same thing. He's a mail bomb suspect, but who can say who he's targeting or who he supports? When they actually had the van on Fox News Live on the channel, they had a lower third, the text at the bottom, and it said van has political stickers, which is both true and kind of missing the point a little bit, that you can't identify it any more specifically than that. And so they are doing everything they can in the White House and in right-wing media to stop his supporters from ever having to think uncomfortable thoughts about the violence that is being wrought by those types of people.
In order for it to be this obvious, there has to be meetings, there has to be obviously a clear-cut thought as to how we're gonna approach this. Like, so when it happens, you go, okay, how do we approach this? Instead of, this is what's in our face, let's say it. It's just the way it is. It's more work to go through to go twisting yourself in knots, to lie and continue your same narrative. Just go with what's there. You can report it and move on. You can go back to your excuses after you report it. But for some reason, we can't even report the blatant truth in reality right in front. And ironically, to the guy who keeps touting fake news, to everyone else that says something true.
And also to the guy who just said that he wants to do everything in his power to stop this, which would mean deactivating his Twitter account. But short of doing that, took the name of the media organization out of that particular speech and everything else. I mean, it comes down to, Fox should have a responsibility as a media organization itself to be a little bit more widespread about the facts of this particular case, because it is a big deal. It does mean something, and even if this is just the one person and who manifested this particular set of crimes against former President Obama, the Clintons, CNN, and so George Soros and so forth. It is bigger than that. It is about this environment that allows that or instigates that to occur. This person may or may not have been the only person to act upon it. There might be a group, it might be someone else. But the reality is, it seems to be going in this direction. But it's the environment. It's what comes from the top, and it goes back to that just minimal amount of leadership that was required in this situation to say, you know what? This is just not cool. This is not how America should be. This is not how we should present ourselves to the world. I'm gonna take some responsibility and I'm gonna tone stuff down, which obviously did not happen.
Yeah, the problem is not bombs and shouting and water being thrown on people. The problem is bombs, okay? That is the problem, and the shouting is down here. Let's not pretend with this both sides BS that everybody's got issues. You know what, probably everybody's sending bombs, I guess. We're all equally culpable. But so as I said, they're trying to sanitize things. Now, reporters are obviously gonna ask some questions. And so Donald Trump was asked a few questions by reporters as he was walking across the lawn. And here is his response. This is video 2. Does he acknowledge that this guy is apparently, from what we know now, a Trump supporter?
I did not see my face on the van. I don't know. I heard he was a person that preferred me over others, but I did not see that.
Okay, no, he's lying.
I did.
He saw it. Donald Trump is on Twitter literally right now as I'm saying this. He's on Twitter. He saw the pictures. He knows he prefers me over others. He stands at rallies holding up signs saying CNN sucks. Look at his Twitter account. Look at his van. You can look at my car and have no idea what I think about politics or pretty much anything. But this guy was very clear, and Donald Trump knows it, and he's lying to reporters. And I'm just gonna add one more. It's not just him. Even people who are supposed to be a little bit more responsible. If we could go to video 7, you're gonna see that as well.
Why was he targeting Democrats?
I don't know, other than what you might normally expect. He may have been appears to be a partisan, but that would be determined by the facts as the case goes forward, and I'm not able to comment on that.
Christopher Wray with an amazing video photobomb. So yeah, he appears to be a partisan. Who can say what he's a partisan for? I don't know, maybe he likes stuff. It's really, it's pathetic. These like, do you expect that they're gonna take this seriously? Do you expect that, like there's potential other crazies out there. There's other people riding around in vans. Do they feel like they are getting a strong message from their dear leader not to do things like this? Is that the message that is being sent to them by Donald Trump, by the media, by their favorite pundits on Twitter? Is that what they're hearing? I don't think that's what they're hearing. I think that they're hearing that I can do some crazy stuff and I will be buttressed and supported by conspiracy theories. And well, they didn't really mean to blow it up. And oh, well, if you really wanted to kill people, it wouldn't have been flawed. And should we really, maybe it's just mental health and all that. All of this cover being provided for a terrorist in a way that I have thankfully never seen before in American history.
No, that's right. And again, Trump could have said something like that and taken that responsibility in case another person actually, and none of us wants that to happen, does something even worse or feels empowered to go about and do that. It is a responsibility to make sure that that doesn't happen, that again, he's just walking away from.
Sadly, the assumption is also still made. We say this when it comes to shootings. They think only certain folks have guns. So they also think, because, and by the way, it's, I think, fleshed out a lot of times in the facts of the number of political, I guess, terrorism cases that happen in the country. It generally happens on the right-wing side. They just don't want to talk about it. But it doesn't mean that because if you continue to overlook and ignore what's going on, there aren't people that oppose you that are thinking, hey, we're in the middle of a war then. We're all Americans, and a lot of people are taking this to think, and I hope it doesn't get to that point, that, hey, well, the only way we can solve this is with more violence. So then there's this assumption that they won't be targeted. They brought up Steve Scalise. He was targeted by someone who doesn't like Republicans. Yeah. And then they were surprised. I was like, that guy shouldn't have been holding all those guns either. Yeah. But those are the only people that they want to have those things taken away from. Yeah. So when you overlook the use of pipe bombs and mail bombs because it was targeting the other guys and who cares about their lives, people are gonna start thinking, the only way they're gonna hear me is for me to target them. Yeah. We don't want that.
That's right.
Exactly.
But now that's what some people, because there's crazy people everywhere on all political sides of the aisle. And as soon as you're faced with that, then you'll have to start caring. And that's a place that we don't want to get to.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.